Good morning, everyone. Very happy to welcome you to our first common webinar, Avery Dennison and Impinj, about everything connected, transforming industry with RFID. Today, our presenters are Frank Smith and Vincent. Before I start going a little bit more into the agenda, I wanted to inform you that you will be unmuted during the whole presentation, and that if you have questions, you have a question tab where you can put any question and they will be answered at the end of the presentation. So as I said, Frank Smith for Avery Dennison, Business Development Manager, RFID Europe, and Vincent for Impinj, Business Development Director for Impinj. We'll talk over the biggest trends in industrial RFID deployment, how RFID is enabling Industry 4.0, our latest innovations, Impinj and Avery Dennison, and which value we can bring to you system integrators. Now to you, Vincent. Have a great presentation.
And good morning to the audience, and thank you, Natalie. We have a massive opportunity ahead of us. You system integrators and us, Avery Dennison and Impinj, together, we are not opportunity constrained. We consider that globally, trillions of supply chain and logistic items need to be connected. And today, we estimate that only 0.1% of connectable items are effectively connected. There is a significant potential to engage further into those markets that are beginning to deploy RFID-based systems. We see opportunities with track and trace solutions in tires production lines, postal services triage, automotive qualitative control and part stocking, food packaging, or healthcare protective equipment, and much more. Over the past 10 years, the industry has seen a significant growth with over 35 billion of ICs being shipped in the last 2 years. 2018 and 2019 together represent more than the 8 previous years accumulated, and the forecast for 2020 is estimated at more than 20% prior to the COVID-19. Anyway, this volume of labels currently distributed within the market is clearly offering a great opportunity for intelligent reading points, deployments to power track and trace solution in supply chain and logistics ecosystems.
So also good morning, everybody, from my side. It's great to see so many people joining from the RFID ecosystem in Europe. Well, we are at Avery Dennison in the business of unlocking new possibilities by opening our eyes and minds and listen to the market. We see ourselves as an enabler for the entire smart supply chain, and we intend on inspiring and building a better tomorrow. This we actually would like to do with partners like yourselves, with our system integrators. Therefore, Avery Dennison keeps on investing in new innovative technologies and IoT startups. With the integration of SmartTrack, we are now the world's largest suppliers of RFID labels and tags for industrial application. We can check any item in the supply chain, from low-cost, ready-to-print inlays for item-level identification, up to extremely durable hard tags for returnable transport items. We at Avery Dennison believe in teamwork. It's actually one of our core values. Therefore, we really like to work in this RFID ecosystem. We would like to work with you to bring our opportunities to real-life projects. Well, especially in the current COVID-19 situation, we have to recognize there are problems in the world, and we feel that there's a potential for technology to solve these problems. We think we are at Avery Dennison a solution enabler. We just don't sell technology just for the sake of it, just for selling technology, but we will invest and keep on investing in technology that helps everybody. We feel that there always needs to be a purpose for technology and invention. It should be used to fix and improve things and create a world which is better in order to be more in sync. With RFID, we also seek to prevent waste, to ensure the demand and the supply is more in harmony. 1/3 of all food is wasted. I was actually shocked when I heard that percentage for the first time. I was flabbergasted. And we really think that RFID can be a technology to bring that percentage down. Also, consumers are getting way more demanding on knowing where products come from farm to fork, and RFID can play an important role in enabling a transparent supply chain. We also see in the current COVID-19 situation how important it is to track products to ensure you have the right quality products at the right time at the right place. Pharma nowadays is a huge emerging market for RFID to trace medicine, to prevent fraud and grey markets, but also to enable authentication. We have to make sure the right materials are used and we do not waste any finished products to create a better future world.
And Impinj is a pioneer, a leading provider of RFID components for identifying, locating, and authenticating everyday items, powering solutions assembled by you, our partners, to solve track and trace challenges at your customer premises. The vision of Impinj is simple. This is to connect those items to the digital world, allowing businesses to analyze and use the data about their physical assets to improve operational efficiencies, to increase sales, to delight customers. Just imagine a truly connected world where your customer can engage a digital representation of virtually any of their physical assets. Think of what your customer could do by knowing the states of an asset, the decisions they could make on top of that information. This is the very premise and essence of the Internet of Things. We believe there is unending demand to analyze, to anticipate, and to automate business processes based on those data gathered from the digital representation of physical assets. When, for example, supply chain and logistic companies have accurate and real-time information about the parts, packages, and assets they move through their operations, they can operate with greater efficiency and accuracy. Impinj platform wirelessly connects and delivers those items' unique identity, their location, and or their authenticity. We refer to this as item intelligence. And for this item intelligence to be shared, to be provided to applications like inventory management, patient safety, asset tracking, or, for example, outbound shipment verification. This is integrated, high-performing, and a versatile platform composed of 3 layers. The uniqueness of an item, its digital identity, gathered by the connectivity that is recording the item intelligence and providing this as a digital twin, as a digital representation. And last but not least, the system software to aggregate, but more importantly, to transform those item data to be used in specialized middleware or your customer operational system. With this platform, you need to consider that we are providing a rich development stack to customize, adapt easily our RFID technology for your targeted use cases, and powering those integrated vertical solutions working with your customer business system. One of the key differentiators reside within our advanced algorithmic. This is integrated into each reader and gateway firmware and boosted by our system software to deliver those item intelligence about their states, such as this identification, the need to monitor unique identity and the presence of item. The second, it's about transition, the ability to simply detect an entry or exit of a set of items crossing a specific boundary, should it be virtual or physical. Third, this is about location, reporting on position or coordinate of items. And last but not least, authentication coming in 2021 to verify the identity of items. This intelligence about item stats is then directly and simply shared with any business applications or IoT platform using standardized data structure and communication protocol. Those applications could be warehouse management, manufacturing execution, transportation management, or enterprise resources planning that run across the supply chain of your customer. The supply chain industry is going through a digital evolution. We are seeing both shippers and manufacturers adopting RFID solutions to improve logistics operations with major project rollouts underway, driving efficiencies in shipping, in contract fulfillment, and operations remain compelling driver of RFID adoption in the supply chain and logistic markets. There is a painful cost with errors. Due to misshipment, for example, a return can multiply those costs by at least 5. And on top of this is a disruption when labor staff have to stop normal operation to deal with those mistakes. And not to be mentioned about customer dissatisfaction for sure. Today, companies are tagging pallets to make sure the right shipment is going on the right truck and to ensure that returnable transport items are not lost or stolen.
Well, to us, returnable transport items can be any crate, pallet, roll container. And we as Avery Dennison expect the next wave of adoption to see companies begin to tag these returnable transport items to continue to drive additional efficiencies. Connecting supply chain items enables real-time visibility of the content to comply with the current market demand on traceability. By tagging these items, you create an end-to-end inventory and item tracking solution for increased accuracy, visibility, and security also. This already has to start at the point of manufacture. Only a small part of all these RTIs are currently tagged, but we feel in the future more returnable transport items will be tagged. Because with this, you can accelerate supply chain performance, ship way more efficient in an automated way, and what's most important, you can increase your margins.
And by connecting supply chain and logistic items to business workflow application using its digital representation, your customer can impact 3 fundamental values enforcing their supply chain excellence. First, this is about accuracy. This is to minimize the product return rate by ensuring the right compliance at each step of the logistic processes. This is the benefits are about control over understock situations, reduce misshipments, and minimize those costly errors. The second point is about efficiency, a way to automate via those item intelligence the transformation of RFID data into actionable information for the business, such as improving labor cost management, eliminating excessive load cycle, streamline the process item handling. And the third is about traceability, to monitor the usage and orchestration of those used resources, using the real-time notification to generate electronic justification as a way, for example, to provide a proof of the shipment or to reduce the shrinkage with returnable transportable items and monitor the tracking flow.
Well, as mentioned, it all starts at the suppliers already. You need to identify raw materials, parts, and semi-finished goods used. The receipt of the goods can be easily automated with the use of RFID at dock door level, but also in warehousing and inventory management, we of course see all the benefits of the use of RFID. Then tracking work in progress and knowing where your assets are and inventory is located during manufacturing is key in the next chain of the supply chain to have this end-to-end traceability. Almost the same RFID process as with the shipping from supplier to incoming can be used at outgoing, using readers at dock doors to capture all the benefits of automated reading. For customers, so really the end users, using RFID means knowing where the products come from, being reassured that their sources are safe. So RFID drives efficiencies across the whole supply chain and makes it possible to see every product at every stage of its journey, from manufacturing, logistics to customers. But this can also be from the back room to store in retail cases. With the rise of e-commerce and matching omni-channel strategies we now see at retailers, it is a must to have full visibility and this real time, of course, of your inventory. RFID will reduce packing errors and will highlight and reduce those errors upon delivery. With that, your advanced shipping notifications will be way more accurate, and all the parties involved in the supply chain are way more in sync and will be your very happy partners. So how does this all then fit together? RFID, Industry 4.0. Well, creating a digital twin of items cries out for usage of RFID. Everything can be connected, if it's parts, components, or the containers we mentioned earlier. That is what Industry 4.0 is all about. The benefits are clearly that you can follow, for example, parts through the whole life cycle, which also actually means you can use them for after sales and for recycling. Having everything tagged means the higher transparency of the supply chain we keep on talking about. Following your work in progress with RFID enables full smart factories like, for example, Factory 56 from Daimler, where RFID is integrated to their components and vehicles and thus can be digitally tracked and even linked with one another. While enabling access to new experience like digital manuals or augmented reality using NFC technology for consumers, that's just another example. Avery Dennison will continue to invest in offering solutions in this area. Not only simple supply these labels and tags, but also offer the digital twin to system integrators to use in their RFID software. So where to tag then? Well, let me start by saying that Avery Dennison is a one-stop shop for durable tags for returnable transport items up to low-cost ready-to-print inlays for item-level identification, now with a smart track integration being done. Each level of identification has its own benefits. We of course feel it's important to follow GS1 guidelines that actually use almost the same principle of marrying item level to carton to pallets as they do with barcode. RFID labels on item level automate inventory taking, but also support, for example, easy expiry data management in shops. As mentioned before, we see new models to market, and omni-channel strategy means you need to have real-time information on your inventory. I keep on pointing this out. And besides the easy automated way of inventory management, also for cartons, connecting the items to carton level will bring you the traceability you are looking for when there might be a recall, when there might have been something going wrong. But then you also connect it to the pad level, you can fully remove manual scanning at loading bays and dock doors, have a fully automated validation of the right pallet with the right content going into the right truck.
With this tagging tactics in mind that Frank did articulate, I'd like to focus now on item transition. I mean the ability to monitor the movement and the direction of any tagged item, like a pallet, crossing, for example, a specific boundary to provide the visibility of inbound or outbound shipping of tagged pallets. This is the #1 challenge in logistics. Millions of pallets are connected today and billions require to be connected. And we could ask why this efficiency matters so much. Well, the demand of of your customer is going up, and the competitive marketplace is very significant. Based on the recent study and related to the situations that our world has faced, we know that the COVID-19 has impacted more than 90% of the largest logistic operations on the globe. With the need, for example, to redirect supply chain and distribution due to the shutdown in critical regions, the addition of new suppliers, and for sure, the diminished workforce. This is a very rapid technical validation. And for sure, labels and reading capabilities have been improved and enriched over the past 2 to 3 years. And one thing I would like to insist to highlight is about the fact that automation creates visibility. And visibility is essential for the right flexibility of your customer business processes. When looking at the downsides, missed shipments happen all the time, even to the best companies. And whether it's sending the incorrect items on the order, shipping product using the wrong shipping services level, or a number of other common order processing mistakes. Beyond the direct lost revenue, beyond the customer dissatisfaction, we see two key financial impacts. First, this is about the peak cost. This is at least doubled, meaning that original cost of pick and pack in terms of processes are totally lost. This is about also the return related to incorrect items, related to bad quality on any other issues. The outbound costs are going up by 5 times at least. And this is due to cost with unusable materials, processing time, return shipping charges, and any other customer service action. And by supply chain visibility, we mean this kind of technical solution to automate shipping processes with accurate real-time data as goods move in and out of, for example, dock doors of the warehouse. This is first to ensure that the right items at the right quantities are shipped to the right customer every time. So quickly and accurately receive shipments and generate any electronic justification automatically. But as one size doesn't fit all, as we know, Impinj reading units are providing flexibility for the RFID reading units placement with 3 pre-configured scenarios, as you can read from the slide, with units position offset, side by side, or even better, offset overhead, meaning that one unit could cover 2 doors at the same time. And those pre-configured scenarios are powered by our software intelligence. By deploying this as a dock door, by deploying this Impinj RFID specialized components as Expand or X-ray, for example, with our tune algorithm for in and outbound verification, you partners can easily extend this kind of solution for other supply chain needs at your customer premises, such as content verification or pallet build verification. This solution makes supply chain and logistics system much more efficient, less prone to error, more accurate than any other traditional asset tracking. As an example, Faurecia, a major auto parts manufacturer in Europe, just think that they are equipping 1 in 3 cars today, adopted this kind of solution to control, to monitor their shipment verification as part of their Industry 4.0 transformation. It was to address originally OEM compliance issues such as product quality and optimize their production lines by digitizing their entire manufacturing operation for car seats. After Faurecia implemented this REN RFID solution in 12 of their plants manufacturing car seats, they founded increased efficiency in part stocking, improve operation across multiple plants, and reduce significantly the revenue lost to 3PL providers. They did reduce manual tasks such as the shipping, the receiving, or transferring of those assets with immediate digital proof of the shipments, improving by such the compliance with OEM. And last but not least, they did increase the customer satisfaction, I mean the car manufacturers, with almost 99% of shipment accuracy.
Well, this is just one example we would like to show of a successful deployment of RFID to follow returnable transport items. Company Reynolds was asked by a few large British retailers to move away from the delivery and disposable cartons and switch to plastic trays because of sustainability. They then very quickly decided to check them with RFID after they noticed that without any identification, trays simply got lost and discussions arose within the supply chain. And now every tray is trackable to each single destination, and they experience no tray losses anymore. And well, in my 20 years in the wonderful world of RFID, I always learn never to say 100%, but well, they actually claim 100% delivery accuracy with the use of RFID, as now every tray is linked to the content. But with this process, efficiency increases by 20%. Through accurate data synchronization from supplier to retail store, just simply by using RFID. There were no disputes anymore with the retailers, with a very nice additional benefit that payments got way more accurate. It's just a teaser. Check out a webinar, the next one, to learn more details on how RFID can support RTI tracking.
And as I just explained, the deployments of Impinj RFID platform for shipment verification, as an example, can easily be extended for other supply chain solutions. And that is a strong benefits of using our technology. The three other use cases displayed on this slide, for example, are benefiting from the built-in capabilities of our intelligent gateway, such as monitoring the transition or, for example, locating tagged assets. This use case empower greatly what customers are expecting to do, which is to improve the visibility and the management of their warehouse core operations. First, this is about the working process. This is the ability to track precisely the inventory of partially finished goods waiting for completion. It is also very efficient to enforce and automate the quality control procedure between each step of the production line. The second is about pallet build verification. Placing a box on the wrong pallet can drive costly errors, can shut down a good number of actions currently executing, and get every single pallet built correctly by monitoring the assembly steps and automating the verification process can provide a lot of benefits. And think about this additional value, which is to understand where those pallets have been located within the warehouse, and therefore instruct directly to the truck where to go, which dock door to use, where to park in order to load the right pallet, which has been already verified. And the last but not least, this is about tools tracking, for example, or any equipment used for manutention. Centralized and automated management of all critical resources to simplify their access, to report on their usage, to improve audit and regulation compliance. For example, tightening wedge calibration can provide a lot of advantages when it comes to extract report rapidly from the system. Once a virtual representation of the inventory is available as a digital twin, it can be used for other optimization and business analytics. With the simple and powerful integration features of Impinj platform, a warehouse management system, as an example, could use that information about physical dimension of the product to decide their exact storage location. This leads to significant profitability gain and reduced overall space requirements.
Well, how do we partner for success? Connecting the physical to the digital, Avery Dennison and Impinj work with enterprises at the center of this digital transformation we keep on talking about. And leveraging the expertise of both our teams and bringing the full resources of both our companies forward, we will support you, system integrators, to deliver the right answers to complex customer challenges we face today.
And we need you. With your experience and your deployment capabilities, we are able together to provide industry IoT solution at the right time with the right expertise to enable this omni-channel and supply chain transformation through the digitization of physical assets.
So I already explained that Avery Dennison will keep on innovating for better performance and reliability. We keep on innovating to come up with new products with improved performance and reliability, but at lower cost, enabling interesting return on investment in RFID projects that never ever have been achieved before. New innovative products like our Dura concept, where we sandwich inlays in between two layers, creating an IP68 rated product. This Dura construction can actually be certified for ATEX upon request. The dog-bone Dura construction as a white printable face material can be delivered in both wet and dry format. And the wet format tags already come with a water-resistant high-strength adhesive, while dry format tags have extensions to the left and right to allow a punch hole for easy attachment. All of this is enabling tagging those returnable transport items at low cost and actually bringing a feasible alternative when possible to hard tags. We also now, with the integration of SmartTrack, have a full portfolio on hard tags, and I would like to highlight two recently launched products. Besides tracking and tracing with RFID, we also see an increased demand on sensor technology to get even more data from your supply chain or manufacturing process. The Max Dura Thermal Logger is a battery-powered temperature logger for cold chain and item management applications or industrial temper logging. Featuring this UHF Gen 2 interface, a very long battery life and an extra ruggedized sealed ABS casing with an IP68 rating, this thermal logger fits perfectly into any harsh industrial environments. Big advantage, of course, is that it can be used in any existing UHF RFID reader setups that are already available at your customers. Another great addition to the portfolio are our Max Dura CAC tags. They are specifically designed to withstand the harshest treatment. They come in a very compact, extremely robust ABS casing. They are designed to be permanently glued to the inner face of the CAC collar. And unlike welding, you see more common, this method actually does not affect the properties of the liquid which is stored inside of the CAC. Also, we will be focusing way more on custom-made hard tags. If you have a requirement, simply approach us. We have a 3D printer to produce customized cases. We also have a PCB printer to come up with pre-production samples in just a couple of days. Another sensor example. Also, sensor technology without any battery assist can be supplied by Avery Dennison. It enables very easy detection. The sensor tadpole is designed to measure moisture condition changes within parts and components. So, for example, to detect any water ingress into the objects during a final quality control check. These sensor tags, which you see in the example, are actually put in the car under the insulation and carpet, and they are read before and after the high pressure showering of the car. As this product has no batteries, it's highly cost efficient. Only an IC is required without any additional electronics. So what about the future? How will the future look like according to our Avery Dennison team? Well, we will continue our focus on this IoT connectivity. We want to enable machine learning, but also we'll keep on promoting RFID as the technology for blockchain. A digital twin enables the feed into any higher level systems. Can be in manufacturing, enabling Industry 4.0 applications, or enabling supply chain visibility in food using blockchain technology. Think about a video of the vineyard starting when you tap the wine bottle with your phone. Think of automated ordering of goods when RFID systems detect out of stock automatically. Machines will be able to send out a replenishment order themselves when they detect that intermediate stock is below a certain safety level. Using RFID in combination with blockchain will bring trust back again at consumer level, as they will be able to trace the product back in the supply chain themselves. This is an example of a combination of blockchain with NFC in these challenging times, as it is with equipping COVID-19 test kits with RFID tags. What the solution does is it uses our digital identity platform to feed the data into the Suku's blockchain-based supply chain application. This data from the mobile engagement of the consumer then confirms the authenticity and the origin of the tagged product, therewith reassuring customers and ultimately increasing trust back again at consumer level. But of course, we like to make sure we have the best performing tags in the market in the world. And we realize that demanding applications in industry need solid testing. Both Avery Dennison and Impinj have these kind of facilities, as you now see. We, as Avery Dennison, recently did a 6-figure investment in our hardtech facility in Germany for a very large test chamber, where also large objects like beer kegs can be tested, and even full pallets with load can go in there. Of course, we can test in all international UHF frequency bands. And these testing facilities, which both Avery Dennison and Impinj have, can be used by you system integrators to use and ensure that the right inlay is used in combination with the right hardware, making sure you get the maximum performance in your RFID projects.
And the future of RFID, it starts today with Impinj new technology. We have announced since a couple of weeks a new endpoint that I'm going to describe in more detail, and a new reader. This new set of Impinj RFID components is redefining the performance, the security, and interoperability expected by you system integrators and your customer into the market. Related to the endpoint, these new IC technologies culminate a decade of Impinj innovation and development. These technology advancements represent for us, Impinj, the most significant IC innovations since we introduced our first RFID chip called Monza in 2005. Let me cover a couple of transformative innovations. Highest receive sensitivity, -24 dBm, and reply signaling enable Avery Dennison to design smaller but still high-performing inlays. One specific advancement we have integrated into this chip is about enhanced adaptive tuning to compensate for common warehouse challenges like metal equipment, dense and stack items, and for sure, distance and speed of movement. This is significantly improving the tag readability. For example, increase the speed of operation, the distance and reliability at which RAIN RFID system can inventory. We have tested, and customer who did tested this in advance, twice the number of items and twice less the time compared to the previous chip. Our M700 family maintain IC sensitivity even when reading at high speed and with stronger accuracy, meaning that with this new chip, you don't have to choose between density, distance, or accuracy. Everything can be increased at the same time. And this is improving the manufacturability process by reducing raw material consumption and lower carbon footprint per inlay. As an example, for every billion chips produced, the Impinj M700 series reduced CO2 emissions by roughly 180 tons compared to gold bump chips. New features, I want to highlight one of them, which is protected mode. With protected mode, Impinj M700 enable and extend existing and new use cases like shipment verification related to density, to speed, even in harsh environments. This is not about hiding the identity of the item. It's actually rendering this item invisible, and there is a difference. With protective mode activated, the item will not respond. No backscatter, meaning no RF energy back to the reader, which means a reader will never know that the item is present. The item is invisible, the item is not responding, hence eliminating false positive in inventory accuracy. When tag is made visible, no need to create its identity back within the supply chain, it's already existing. It's also protecting the supply chain against counterfeited goods. And let me provide you an illustration of this feature. In a retail ecosystem scenario for sure, our new protected mode feature will enable solutions such as loss prevention or contactless checkout in 3 steps. The security PIN code is assigned based on the item arrival. The buying process renders the tag invisible, and so no information sent back to the reader. And in case of return, the visible state is enabled instantly, permitting to see this item into the existing inventory. But protected mode can also add value to non-retail application. And I would like to list the way to prevent unauthorized access to item information due to high value or sensitive aspect of the asset, excluding specific items from inventory, a way to differentiate parcels during logistics triage, and then item invisibility in transit, a way to prevent access to information related to content verification. And this can be applied for sure to supply chain, logistic, industrial, manufacturing, or even healthcare. And our new reader that is built on our long history of RFID manufacturing. I would like to zoom in 3 important categories. First, this is about industry-leading performance. Best receive sensitivity up to -92 dBm, allowing also a maximum transmit power up to 33 dBm using PoE+. This is 10 times processing boost compared to the previous one, with more memory, a gigabit Ethernet for fast network connectivity. With this stronger edge processing, our intelligence algorithm can be run directly on the reader, improving the time to report an RFID-based event, such as identification, directional movement, or real-time location. And last, related to this industry performance, it's about both frequency bands being supported by this new reader. meaning what we called the lower and the upper band in Europe, and compatible with 2 and 4 watt as effective radiated power. This is also to simplify IoT solution. And while we maintain LLRP, we are also proposing a brand new RESTful API to configure, to control, and consume REN RFID data without any deep knowledge in RFID. This new API supports over 80 application languages and offers several choices of popular IoT data transfer, such as MQTT. The GPIO is also integrated. For a rich support of external peripherals, we have added up to 3 USB ports. And last but not least, related to antenna hub, the radio frequency control is also built in. And finally, this is about a new set of features related to security. The operating system based on kernel 5.1 of Linux is secure, but more important, upgradable, meaning that you are able to apply the patches that are coming out into the market onto this encrypted software image and a secure boot to prevent any unauthorized software execution.
So where can you find all these great products from Avery Dennison? Well, for us, it was a key priority now after the SmartTrack integration to have all the products from both Avery Dennison and SmartTrack easy to find. Therefore, we came up with a renewed product and solution finder where you can find all the data sheets, but even more important, I think, the application notes, white papers from all the products, also now including all the hard tags. Well, everything can be easily listed using search criteria like size, IC, market segment, and frequency range. So please have a look at this, try it out, and let us know if you need any samples or any further support. We are there to help you.
And this is about our shared vision. Our shared vision, Impinj and Avery Dennison for success. We are just at the beginning of solving challenges that we discussed today. We see a bright future where internet will reach to trillions of everyday items, where there is boundless IoT. Operational systems will know the status of every single thing and will be able to reason on top of that intelligence, delivering value for businesses and consumers.
Well, you are the best at building integrated systems from all the components.
And we, Avery Dennison and Impinj, are the #1 in RFID ICs, tags, and intelligent readers.
You need an experienced, capable, and trustworthy RFID component partner.
And we, Avery Dennison and Impinj, value partnerships and deliver what we promised.
When your customers require premium quality, high availability of products, Avery Dennison is the only ARC quality certified supplier by Auburn University, producing 10 billions of tags each year, working optimal with Impinj hardware.
And Impinj delivers, in average, 8 billion of RFID endpoint ICs to the market annually. More than 2 million soffit readers and gateways are deployed at customers around the globe, showing you that you work with the 2 leading RFID suppliers in the world.
So thank you so much for your presentation, Frank and Vincent. We have a few questions and we have 10 minutes left. First, as Frank mentioned, we have our next webinars on the 30th of June. You will receive a registration link. It's open. It will be a logical follow of what we discussed, and we'll go more into the full visibility and supply chain and RTI. So check out and you will receive a mail from us soon. You will also get a replay link of the presentation. Now, I will jump to the question. There are a few ones. So we'll start with the first one. What is the smallest size RFID tag can be made?
Well, I can pick up that one. We actually have a very small circular UHF inlay, which is around about 10 millimeter diameter. But basically, it can go as small as you wish, as long as you have a good expectation on what the reading distance then will be, because in RFID size does matter. I always say, the bigger the antenna, the better the performance and reading distance. But for the moment, the smallest one we have on UHF RAIN RFID is a circular one with 10 millimeter diameter.
Thank you, Frank.
I would like to compliment on this, on the fact that the new ICs that I have articulated, going to be delivered in production in the second half of 2020, is providing a size that is 50% less than the previous one. And the sensitivity performances as articulated have been qualified to maintain the accuracy and at the fast distance of the antenna, which is helping to reduce the size of the tags while maintaining high performances.
Thanks, Vincent. I jump to the next question. There are a few ones, really. And I think this one's for you, Vincent, and quick to answer. What is SV mentioned in pallet level SV?
So this is about shipment verification, a way to check that the pallet is the right one to be loaded on the right truck, or the pallet arriving to a warehouse is clearly providing the right assets that are expected. So this is simply to check, to verify the goods that are moving in or moving out of the warehouse.
Thanks. A question regarding the Reynolds success story use case. The question was, what label tag is used on the Reynolds trays, as this person is having a very similar opportunity with a very high number of labels to track plastic totes?
Yeah, I can get back on that separately, and we can take that one offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone is asking what is RTI technology and RAIN RFID. If you can make a quick update on this, RAIN RFID and RTI.
So RTI relate to returnable, transportable items. Simply, these are the containers that are being used to transport the asset manufactured by a provider and to be delivered to a customer. Those kind of assets are often lost, stolen, damaged, and put in danger the efficiency of the overall supply chain. So the RTI with RFID, it's to manage, it's to track where those resources are located, how they are using, and to enforce the right number of those resources for the supply chain operations.
Thank you. I have lots of questions coming. I don't think we will answer them all, but don't worry. We'll come back to you on a written mode, or we will come back to you on a one-on-one basis. Well, good. Considering the implementation of RFID technology on the pack serving the purpose of both primary and secondary packaging, what will be the recyclability of that package?
Well, RFID recycling is a very interesting subject at the moment. We actually see that that now recycling is also a very hot topic at large brand owners like L'Oreal, Coca-Cola, and what actually is now more and more promoted is a combination of UHF and NFC. Yeah, that UHF is actually used for the logistic application, and NFC is then used for end user engagement, so that it actually triggers the end users with a smartphone to read the NFC, actually write up for an app, and actually make sure that everything they have is brought back, is recycled. And that's a trend we currently see ongoing in the market.
Okay, thank you. Next question, are you experiencing difficulties with reading RFID tags on pallets in warehouses compared to reading barcodes?
I would say we have improved with these features that we call the auto-tuning within our IC to, I would say, adjust the sensitivity and the transmit of the signal back to the reader from an IC perspective. We have improved this largely, and I mentioned this even so related to the last chip we have announced, and we are going to provide in production to the market in the second half of 2020. I encourage to go to the impinj.com website, where there is a lot of detail related to that. Second point I would like to develop in my answer is related to our intelligent reader. What I have explained during this presentation is that our reader, the way they are capable to cover the space and for sure detect the transition of pallet, as an example, even stacked pallet, has been organized and structured with algorithm to improve the readability. This is a way, to ensure that on the top, or anywhere the tags could be placed, the reading mode is going to be maximized. So again, for this, we have lots of detail on this kind of reading method that we are proposing with side-by-side, with overhead, with offset overhead, to one, adjust to the ecosystem of the customer, and secondly, to provide this flexibility based on the placement of the tags, maximizing the readability.
Okay, thank you, Vincent. That will be the last question. There are many more, but we're running out of time, and again, we'll answer them all, don't worry, and thank you for asking them. So the last one I will propose to the audience is, what's the best and fast readable metal tag for IT assets like laptop? I find issue in tag reading if more than one laptop comes in contact with RFID reader.
And normally that should not be an issue. Of course, you need to have the right mount of metal label, which we can provide as Avery Dennison. But I have done similar projects in my previous careers, and I never experienced any problems actually reading multiple assets in a room. So this might also be something that we can pick up as partners, Impinj and Avery Dennison.
Yep.
And we have a look which inlay to use and which correct hardware to be used, because I know there's been very many successful deployments for similar cases.
Absolutely, and again, look at these auto-tuning features of Impinj IC equipping Avery Dennison inlays, because we have worked a lot on this in order to deliver together on metal tags that are very performing. So I think we will need to take this, I would say, additional details offline and coming back to you.
Yeah, so thank you. Again, there are a few questions and there will be one-on-one answers. As you can see, you will be able to register to our next webinar on the 30th of June. Thanks again, Frank and Vincent, for this great presentation. You will be online in a few days from now for the next webinar. Have a good day all, and we'll send you very shortly a replay link as well as an invitation link for the next webinar. Have a great day and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.